Hey, Brooksie here, the Irish Insider for the Seven and a Hook podcast. Hey, hope everybody's having a great day. It is NFL Sunday. Matter of fact, it is NFL Sunday, week 14. Man, is the season flying by. But you know what? It's been a profitable one. For those that have been listening to the Seven and a Hook podcast and taking our picks and go cashing some ticks, because man, oh man, have we been knocking it down all season long. Like we say, bookies hate us. Why? Because our picks pay. So listen, what are we going to do today? I don't know. NFL, maybe some NFL, and then I think we'll end it with a little NFL. What do you think? Yeah. I'm going to break down every game on the NFL Week 14 board, including the Monday night matchup. So, without further ado, let's get this show rolling. All right, we're going to kick it off with the first game on the board, and that is the Baltimore Ravens on the road travel to take on the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Browns are favored by 3 at home, points total set at 42 and a hook. Ravens are 8-4 in the season, 3-3 on the road. They're 2-3 in their last 5. Now, they're coming off a very, very disappointing loss, 20-19 against their rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, those that watched the game, the Ravens had a chance to pull out a victory. Last play of the game, they went for a 2-point conversion, didn't convert. They went home with a loss. Now, I guess you can say, well, maybe they should have kicked the extra point and went into overtime, blah, blah, whatever. Coach decided, hey, listen, I got Lamar Jackson, one of the most lethal offensive weapons in the NFL. I trust them to get that 2-point conversion. They failed. Pittsburgh comes home with a win. That's what happens, folks. Now, they still sit atop the AFC North, even after losing to the Steelers. All right. Now, let's move to who they're playing, the Browns. Okay, now the Browns are 6-6 on the season. They're 3-2 in their last 5. Now, the Browns, they had a bye week last week. Yep, they had a nice extra week off. Well, you know who they played before their bye week? Yeah, the Ravens. Wow. So they got to stew on that loss for 2 weeks, knowing that their next opponent was the Ravens. Now, the Ravens beat them 16-10 prior to the bye week. So a couple weeks off, a couple weeks to watch film, a couple weeks to get ready to maybe, I don't know, get a little revenge back on the Ravens. So, good news for the Browns is that Baker Mayfield had his first full practice in a number of weeks. So there was no sitting out at all. He practiced all week. So he's as healthy as he's going to be, it looks like, in this game. Again, good news for the Browns, and good news if you like the Browns, because I like them in this spot too. So I'm going to lay the 3 with the Browns. And as far as the points total, yeah, I'm looking up. The points total is set at 42 and a hook. I think you're going to see some points in this game. So I'm going to lay the 3 with the Browns. I'm going over 42 and a hook. I have a couple prop bets that I do like in this matchup here too, and that is Baker Mayfield to go over 226 and a hook yards passing. Plus, I like him to go over 1 and a hook touchdown. So those are my 2 prop bets on the Ravens-Browns game. All right, let's move on to the next game on the board, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road travel to take on the Tennessee Titans. Titans are favored by 8 and a hook. Points total set at 43 and a hook. Jaguars 2-10, the big for 5 on the road. Now, they are losers also of 4 straight. Last week they got trounced. They traveled to the Rams. They lost 37-7. Game didn't even seem that close. Could have been 70-7 the way the Jaguars played. Now, there's more Urban Meyer drama that's coming out of the rumor mill down in Jacksonville. That team is just a hot mess right now. I don't know if Urban is kind of forcing the owner's hand to let him go, because he doesn't want to be there anymore. But there's reports that literally he called out all his coaches and basically said, hey, listen, guys, I'm a winner, you're a loser. And he kind of made them stand up and explain what they've done in their careers. I mean, total egomaniac this Urban Meyers is. And man, oh man, it's not looking good down in Jacksonville. Now they've scored, they're averaging only 15 points a game. They're letting up 26. Not good math. And remember that kid Trevor Lawrence? Yeah, where has he been? Yeah, talk about getting lost in nowhere land. That's what's happening to that kid right now. Okay, so let's look at the Titans. They're 8-4 on the season overall. They're 4-2 at home. Now their winners, 3 of their last 5. They last lost was Sunday Night Football, right? Who'd they play? The Patriots. Yeah. It was 36-13. The student came home, right, to face the teacher, right? Sorry, Matt Vrabel. Bill Belichick is still the master, and you've got a long way to go. But anyways, so tough loss for the Titans as they got trounced by the Patriots. So okay, now they've had a bye week, the Titans. They've had an extra week to get ready for the Jaguars. Not that you really need an extra week to get ready for the Jaguars. They have already beaten the Jaguars this season, 37-19. This is going to be a Tennessee train that is going to wreck the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm going to lay the 8 and a hook. And as far as the points total, I don't know if Jacksonville's going to score. So I'm going to go under. I'm looking under the 43 and a hook in this game. All right, prop bet. I got a couple prop bets on this one too. I like Tannehill to get over 225 and a hook yards. And what was the other prop bet I had? Oh yeah, completions. I think he's going to have over 20 and a hook completions. All right, let's move on to the next game on the board, and that's the Raiders on the road travel to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 10. Points total set at 47 and a hook. Okay. Raiders 6-6 overall, 3-3 on the road. They've lost 4 out of their last 5. Last week at home, they put up a stinker. Yeah, that's right. We're going to use a little Boston accent, real heavy. A stinker against the Washington No-Names. Yeah, the Washington No-Names flew into Sin City and beat the Raiders 17-15. Man, that was pretty ugly if you're a Raiders fan. That's for sure. Now, the Raiders scoring 22 points a game. They're letting up 26. David Carr, through the first 4 games of the season, was on track maybe to be an MVP candidate. Well, man, oh man, that train has left the station, and he has certainly cooled off since. Now, he's had one good game in the last 4 or 5, and that was Thanksgiving against Dallas, where he threw for over 375 yards. But that's about it in his last 5 or 6 outings. Okay, the Chiefs, they're 8-4. They're 5-2 at home. Now, they're winners of 5 straight. This team is on fire, in fuego here, right? And it's not because of Patrick Mahomes and their, high-flying offense. It's been their defense. Last 5 games, 9, 14, 7, and 17. That's what they've let up each game. That defense has been phenomenal, folks. Phenomenal. Okay, now, what's going to happen in this game? Well, watch out, because the Kansas City defense is playing great, which means the offense is going to catch up, and I think this is the week they're going to do it. You want to know why? Because Andy Reid is a December kind of coach. He doesn't lose in December. And does anyone think that Patrick Mahomes isn't going to get things kicking? Oh yeah, he is. This is the time. 3 games left in the regular season. You watch. This is going to be a warm-up for the playoffs. I like the Chiefs in this spot. I'm going to lay the 10, and guess what? I'm looking up. I'm going over the 47 and a hook. All right. Next game up on my spotlight sheet here is the New Orleans Saints on the road, favored by 5 and a hook, travel to take on the New York Jets. Points total set at 43. All right, the Saints, 5-7 on the season. They're 3-3 on the road. Now, they're losers of 5 straight. Stinky 5 straight. Ouch. Okay. Last time out, they lost to Dallas 27-17. Now, the good news for the Saints, and any Saints fans, is Alvin Kamara is back. He's back in the lineup. He had full practice. Sit out any. He is ready to go full bore. That is a big, big plus. Also, Taysom Hill, quarterback. He's cleared. He will be starting again, despite he's got a finger injury. So Taysom Hill and Kamara both in the backfield, QB and running back. Okay, let's look at the Jets. 3-9 on the season, 2-4 at home. Now they're losers 4 out of their last 5. All right, last week, 33-18 loss at home to the Eagles. Zach Wilson got the start, didn't play bad, but didn't play good enough to score enough points to beat the Eagles. So, and Wilson is going to get the start. Looks like he'll probably get the start for the remainder of the season, assuming he doesn't get hurt. Okay, so far this year, Wilson, even though he took a few games off because of injury, he's thrown for 1,500 yards, 6 touchdowns, and popsicle, 11 picks. Yeah, that's kind of been the story of his life in the NFL so far. So, okay, what do I think is going to happen in this game? Jets defense, you can run against them. Okay, well, guess what? The Saints can run the ball. Kamara and Hill, they're going to run the ball at will. I'm going to take the Saints here, laying 5 and a hook. And as far as the points, 43, yeah, I'm looking up. I think this game is going to go over the 43. So Saints, laying 5 and a hook, over 43. I do have a few prop bets on this game. Also, look for Kamara to go off the rails in a good way, okay? He's going to go over his run total yardage, 68 and a hook. He's going to go off. He's going to go way over that. His longest run, I got over 14 and a hook, his longest run from scrimmage. Yeah, we're going over that. And then I had, Zach Wilson. Listen, they're going to be trailing in this game, so he's going to be hucking and chucking. His yardage passing, over 214 and a hook yard. So those are my 3 prop bets for the Saints and the Jets game. All right, let's move on to the next game on the board. We got the Dallas Cowboys on the road, favored by 4 and a hook, travel to take on the Washington No-Names. I still get bothered when I say that. It's been 18 months. Listen, the folks at Washington, I know some of you tune in. We've got fans that email us. Pick a name. This is goofy at this point. I'm not going to call them the Washington football. They're the Washington No-Names. Pick a mascot, pick a name. Come on, seriously. Anyways, points total set in this game is 48. All right, Dallas comes into this game 8-4. They're 4-2 on the road. Now, they're coming off a 27-17 win over the Saints, okay, last time out. Now, that broke a 2-game losing streak for Dallas. Dallas scoring 29 points a game. They're letting up 22. Now, Ezekiel Elliott is going to have to do a little extra duty this week. Why? Because Pollard is out. All right, so Zeke is going to get the ball a lot, assuming he's productive, okay? Now, Washington, the No-Names, 6-3 overall, 3-3 at home. Now, they're winners of 4 straight. No doubt, if not the hottest team, one of the hottest teams in the NFL. They went on the road last week to Las Vegas and beat the Raiders 17-15. Got to give them credit. You know what? The Jack Del Rio-led defense on the Washington No-Names is really which has led their resurgence back from, I think they started 2-5. So, got to give the defense credit. Okay. Now, what's going to happen today? Cowboys are going to let the Washington no-names who is boss in the NFC East. I think the Cowboys get it done big. So I'm going to take the Cowboys, but I think Washington's going to have a hard time scoring in this game. So I'm going to go under the 48. So I like the Cowboys laying the 4 and a hook, but guess what? I'm looking down. I'm going to go under 48 in this game. Now, I had one prop bet, and that's Ezekiel Elliott, over 58.5 yards rushing. That's my one prop bet on that game. All right, let's move on to the next game on the board. All right, I've got the Falcons on the road taking on the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Panthers are favored by 3 at home. Points total set at 41. Yeah, low total in this game. Atlanta, 5-7 overall, 4-2 on the road. Now, they're losers 3 out of their last 4. Last week, they lost at home to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 30-17. No shame in that. Everybody seems to be losing to Tampa at this point. You know, Matty Ryan has certainly struggled this year, not putting up the numbers you're used to seeing. He's got 16 touchdowns, but again, toothpicks up, 11 interceptions. That's not exactly Matty Ryan type numbers. Okay, so the Panthers, 5-7 also, 2-4 at home. Their offense has been struggling, and that's kind of an understatement. Even with Superman coming back, Cam Newton, he really hasn't done much. Well, what they decided to do, you can't fire all the players, so what did they do? They fired their offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, this week, hoping to light a fire under the you-know-what of the Panthers' offense. Okay, now Cam Newton, he is going to get the start again this week, despite him struggling the last couple games since he came back to the NFL. All right, Carolina beat the Falcons 19-13 earlier this year, back on Halloween, actually, at Atlanta. I think we're going to have a little flipperoo here. I actually like the Falcons in this spot, getting 3 points. And as far as the points total, I'm looking down. I'm going to go under 41. So give me the Falcons getting the points and go down. I'm going under 41. All right, so what's up next on the NFL card? All right, it's the Seattle Seahawks on the road, favored by 8 and a hook, travel to take on the Houston Texans. Points total set at, is it 40? It looks like 41 here. Points total set at 41. Another low total. All right, Seattle, disappointing year. 4-8 overall, 2-4 on the road. Now they're coming off a very nice win at home, 30-23 over the San Francisco 49ers. Now, that broke a 3-game losing streak for the Seahawks. Disappointing numbers offensively this year for Seattle. A little over 19 points a game they're scoring, letting up about 21. Yeah, you're not going to win many games like that. Now the Texans, 2-10 overall, 1-5 at home. They're losers, 4 out of the last 5. They got shut out at home last week. Now that's hard to do in the NFL. Okay, getting shut out on the road, all right, maybe you can see that, but at home, wow, they lost 31-0 to not. Yeah, they didn't put up any points last week at home against the Colts. This team is a mess, and that's an understatement. It looks like Davis Miller's gonna get the start again. Not sure why, but I guess it really doesn't matter down there. Now, they're scoring just under 14 points a game. They're letting up 27. Right? Everything says Seattle should just fly in here and roll them over, right? All right, Seattle's only won 4 games. They're not much better than the Texans. And the Texans, believe it or not, other than last week, they've been in most of their games. So, listen, it's another home game for the Texans. I just don't see Seattle flying in here and romping them. Then they win the game. But I'm going to take the 8 and a hook points at home with the Texans. And listen, 40 and a half. All right, I had written down 41, but it looks like the line is 40 and a hook, another low line. I'm going up. I'm going over that total. What do you got to lose? Both teams, huck and chuck. Huck and chuck. See what happens. All right, so next game up on the NFL board, Detroit Lions on the road travel to take on the Denver Broncos. Now, the Broncos are favored by 11 and a hook. Points total set at 42. Hey, Lions fans, are you still partying or what? I mean, you got your first win last week, right? Gotta love it. I loved it too, because you want to know why? I was all over that game. Oh, yeah, I took them last week, getting points against Minnesota. They won the game outright. Way to go, Lions. I love it. I love when I can cash tickets. Appreciate it. All right, Lions, 1-10-1 on the season, 0-5-1 on the road. As I said, they're coming off their first win last week, 29-27 over Minnesota. Now, they tried their best to lose the game, but they held on. So kudos to that team. That's a big weight off everybody's shoulders at Detroit. Okay, and what kind of present do they get the following week? They don't get a bye week. They got to go to Denver, which is one of the toughest places to play, period, end of story. Okay, so let's look at Denver. 6-6 on the season, 3-3 at home. Okay, now, literally every game out to the end of the season now is basically a playoff game for the Broncos. They have to keep winning. Okay, if they don't, they're probably not going to make the playoffs this season. Last week, they traveled to Kansas City. They played ultra conservative. It did not pay off, and they lost 22-9. Man, they should have. Hindsight is 20/20, no doubt. They should have opened it up a little bit, and they probably would have been a bit more competitive against the Chiefs. Well, guess what? Lions are going to pay for that because the Broncos are going to go unleashed this week. I like them. I'm going to lay the 11 and a hook. And those that follow the show, I'm not a big layer of points over 10, okay? I play a lot more dogs than I do favorites in positions like this. But, man, I don't think the Lions, listen, they got their win, okay? I think the partying is probably still going on over there. And the Broncos are determined to get back in the win column. I'm going to lay the 11 and a hook here. As far as the points total, I'm looking up. We're going to go over 42 in this game. All right, next game up on the NFL board. We've got the New York Giants on the road, travel to take on the Chargers. Now, the Chargers are favored by 9 and a hook. Points total set at 43. All right, Giants, 4-8 on the season. They're 1-5 on the road. The Giants are coming off a loss at Miami last week, 20-9. Now, the Giants did get some good news this week because Mike Glennon was cleared from concussion protocol. So he's going to start at quarterback. Had he not cleared, Jake Fromm, who? Yeah, Jake Fromm, not Jake Paul, the boxer. Jake Fromm was going to be their starting quarterback. Now, 10 days ago, Jake Fromm was on the Buffalo Bills practice squad. Okay, that's how bad things are for the Giants at quarterback. So, but again, they did get some good news. Mike Glennon is going to start. Now, the Giants, they're only averaging 17 points a game. They're letting up 22. I think it's safe to say that Coach Joe Judge, he's on the hot seat. Definitely on the hot seat. All right, Chargers. Let's look at these teams. 7-5. They're 3-3 at home. To me, this is the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde team of the NFL. Win one, lose one. Win one, lose one. Win one, lose one. You never know which team is going to show up. The good team, the bad team. The good team, the bad. Again, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Now, last week, Chargers showed up, right? They flew into Cincinnati, and they put a beating on the Bengals at home, 41-22. Now, pat on my back here. Why? Because I was all over that game. I had the Chargers They were getting points in that game, okay? And I had the over, okay? Now, Chargers are a tough team to cap, hard team to handicap. So, what do I think is going to happen this week? Well, this game, to me, is more about capping the Giants than it is the Chargers, okay? Now, this is two roadies. This is two road games for the Giants in a row, okay? They had to fly down to Miami last week, not exactly a short flight. And now they're flying all the way to the West Coast. That's a lot of travel, okay? And for a team that's 4-8, I don't know. What's the motivation to be out in California? Enjoy yourself a little bit, get a little sun and fun, or play a football game. Again, they're only human beings. Therefore, I like the Chargers in this spot. So again, I'm going to lay the 9 and a hook. And as far as the points total, yeah, I'm looking up. We're going to go over 43 in this game. Okay, next game on the NFL card, the 49ers laying a point and a hook on the road, travel to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Points total set 48 and a hook. Okay, 49ers, they're 6-6 on the season, 4-2 on the road. Last week, tough loss. They flew into Seattle. Now, Seattle's always a tough place to play. They've got, I think, the highest winning percentage in the last 15 or 18 years of any NFL team. So, again, it doesn't matter who you are. If you go to Seattle, it's a tough place to play. Well, they lost to the Seahawks 30-23. Now, that broke a 3-game winning streak for the 49ers. Now, they still have a shot at a wild card spot. But again, they have to win. They have to keep winning here. All right, let's look at Cincinnati. They're 7-5 overall, 3-3 at home. Now, what they do last week at home, they put up a stinker, right? They lost at home to who? The Chargers. We just talked about them. 41-22. Now the Bengals, they also have a little bit of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? You don't know which team is going to show up. Now, the Bengals need to keep pace with who? The Ravens. The Ravens are 8-4. Bengals are 7-5. Bengals need to keep pace. So therefore, I think the Burrow and the Mixon show today, is what's going to happen. That's right. We're going to go with the Bengals in this spot. That's right. The Bengals getting a point and a hook at home, and we're going to go over the 48 and a hook. That's right. We're going to take the Bengals, and we're going over 48 and a hook. All right, let's go to the next game on the NFL card. And who is that? Buffalo Bills on the road travel to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers are favored by 3 and a hook. Points total set at 54. Wow. Okay. Now the Bills, they're 7-5. They're 4-2 on the road. Okay. Ugly 14-10 loss last week to the Patriots. Now, the Patriots threw the ball three times, and won the game. That's ugly. Well, the weather was ugly. It was cold. It was rainy. It was snowy. It was windy. I mean, it was everything that Buffalo can be when the weather gets nasty. That's typically when Buffalo wins games. But you know what, man? Got to give the Patriots kudos because they stuck to a game plan, run, and run some more, and it worked, and they came home with a win. Now, I don't want to anger any Buffalo fans because I know we have quite a few that tune into the show. But listen, you got to face reality. The Bills, they're not a lock to make the playoffs now. I mean, if they keep losing, they may not make the playoffs. And I know that's hard to swallow considering they started 4-1 and they've been everybody's darling to make a run to the Super Bowl. But man, oh man, they've got a rough road ahead of them. But we'll see what happens in this game here. Now the Bucs, they're 9-3 overall, They sit top the NFC South. All right, now they're winners of 3 straight. Last week, 30-17 win over Atlanta. Brady, Gronkowski. The duo is back. I mean, talk about hard to stop, impossible to stop. I don't know what term to use, but man, Gronk is back, and that's Brady's whoopee, right? I mean, man, they just throw the ball up, he catches it, touchdown. Throw the ball up, catches it, touchdown. This is going to be a tough matchup for the Bills here. Okay. Now, this game, to me, it's a shootout. Okay? It's one of those, whoever has the ball last is going to win. I think it's really going to be one of those games. I think the Bills are going to come to play. They know, listen, your season is literally hanging by a thread here. They got nothing to lose. Let it rip. Again, last one who's got the ball wins. I'm going to take the points here. So I'm going to take the 3 and a hook with the Bills, and I'm looking over. Yeah, I'm looking over. I'm going over 54 in this game. Okay, Sunday Night Football. The Bears, on the road, travel to take on the Green Bay Packers, the Cheesies. Okay, Packers are favored by 11 and a hook. Points total set at 43. All right, the Bears, 4-8 on the season. They're 2-4 on the road. They're losers 4 out of their last 5. Last week at home, they lost 33-22 to Arizona. They're only averaging 16 points a game. They're letting up 23. Again, not a good formula for winning. Looks like Justin Fields is going to get a start again this week. I think that's a good thing. He's definitely the quarterback of the future. Let the kid play out the rest of the season. Don't get him hurt. Just get him ready for next year. That's really what this should be about. Packers, 9-3 overall, 5-0 at home. Tough to beat this team at home. Now, the Packers, they last played on November 28th. They played the Rams, and they beat the Rams convincingly, 36-28. 2 heavyweights going at it. And again, Packers came out victorious. All right, they were on a bye week last week. All right. Now, we've all seen and heard the Aaron Rodgers, the viral clip where he basically said to the Chicago fans, "I own you." And I own you. And that's the only thing people in Chicago have been listening to now for the past 3 or 4 weeks. Okay? It is everywhere. You can't go into a donut shop or a coffee shop or pick up a newspaper or listen to sports radio out there without hearing Aaron Rodgers saying basically, "I own you." Okay. Well, listen, folks, he does. Until you beat him, and you haven't done it, I don't know, what is he, 23-4 or 24? I forget what it is, but he doesn't lose to the Bears. Okay, now, that being stated, I, at one time, spent some time out in the Chicago area, and I got to spend some time with Bears fans. Now, it is, listen, I'm from Boston, so it's Boston and New York. That's the rivalry. But, man, the Packers and the Bears rivalry, it's just as good if you're from there. So, listen, the Bears, they don't want to hear about Aaron Rodgers owning them anymore. I think it's enough bulletin board material that it's going to give the Bears just enough to keep this game close. I'm going to take the points here. I'm going to take the 11 and a hook with the Bears, and guess what? I'm going over. Going over 43. So, the Bears, I'm taking the Bears, and I'm going over 43. Okay, last game on the board, and that would be Monday Night Football. So we got the Rams on the road to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals are favored by 2 and a hook. Points total set at 51. Okay, Rams 8-4 on the season, 4-2 on the road. Last week they beat the Jags 37-7. Again, they probably could have won that game 57 or 77-7, but again, I think they called off the dogs at some point. Now, that ended a 3-game losing streak for the Rams. So they needed that as a get-right type of game before this week they face the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams, 28 points a game they're scoring, letting up 22. Now, their offense definitely has cooled off since the beginning of the year. But again, putting up 37 last week against the Jags was a step in the right direction. Cardinals, 10-2 overall. They've got a 2-game lead over the Rams in the NFC South. Last week, we just talked about them. They flew to Chicago, won that game convincingly, 33-22. Cardinals scoring 28 points a game. Defense only letting up 18. Their defense is something to be reckoned with. Now, the Cardinals beat the Rams earlier this year, October 3rd, 37-20. Listen, I think the Rams are going to flip the script this week. So I'm going to take the 2.5 points. I'm going to take the Rams, getting 2 and a hook. And as far as the points total, yeah, I'm looking up. I'm looking way up. We're going to go over 51. Okay, folks. I just broke down every NFL game week 14. Hopefully, I gave you some good insight and some good information. Why? As I always say, so you can go play the picks and cash the ticks. Now, what are my best bets? Listen, if I gave you a play, that's something I'm going to do. Like, that's my play. But if you, and I've had some people email and say, hey, when you break down all the games, do you have any best bets? All right. I just broke down every game in NFL Week 14. What would be my best bets or my strongest plays here? Okay, I'm going to let you know. I like the Browns -3, okay? I like the Titans -8 and a hook. And then if I look at totals, okay, I look at the Raiders and the Chiefs over the 47 and a hook, and then the Bills and the Bucks over 54. So I guess those would be my best bet / strong plays out of all the plays here in NFL Week 14. Again, hopefully I gave you some good insight so you can go cash some tickets. So anyways, hey, have a great day. And as we always say, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.